Everyone, we are public. We lost Mr. Oh no, there's Mr. Gasparo. Just quickly, everyone, we had invited the President of Canada Post come in. We had set for October 9th. As part of our site, this, of course, was all done before the announced changes and the current labor dispute. So they quite understandably have said that they are unavailable and would be or like to be considered for a future time down the road. So I'm just letting you know that we won't continue with them or do that. Yes, I'll get to you, 2 secs. We had previously the Public Service Integrity Commissioner to attend. She's now back in country, so we have taken liberty of starting the process to invite her in for October 9th. So that's kind of pushing back other changes. And again, depending what's going on with the labor dispute, we'll have to worry about address the President of Canada Post coming later at that time. This happened about a year ago, I think, when we invited him, and then the strike happened. Yes. So it appears that maybe OGGO inviting him is what triggers these strikes. I apologize to Canada. Ms. Gaudreau?
On comprend la conjoncture, Monsieur le Président.
Yes, we're empathetic to the context, Mr. Chair. Since the end of September, many things have changed. And I think it's absolutely necessary for the committee to ask the minister responsible for the public service transformation programs be invited and appear before the committee so that we can, first of all, ask her some questions, and secondly, obtain answers to those questions. So 2 hours as soon as possible, because we're in the situation now where we need answers.
If I could speak properly, too much coffee. We've had invited the minister, but our indications that maybe not for a while in March. Are you pushing a motion to have him appear sooner? The request of the committee have him appear sooner than he was intending in November?
J'essayais d'entendre les deux, parce que quand les deux micros sont ouverts, ça ne marche pas.
Sorry. I'll say that again slower. The committee had agreed to invite the PSPC minister. They had indicated perhaps in November, but is the intent of your question like as a motion, or will the committee to re-invite him to come earlier to address some of these issues?
Moi, je souhaite que le ministre...
Well, I would like for Mr. Lightbound, the minister, come to our committee ASAP, as soon as possible, because we're going to have a break week for Thanksgiving, and people are in a crisis condition, and we need to examine this.
I was just going to say, given the concern that you raised, could it be, but given what my colleague just asked, could we do it in camera?
We do not do anything in camera in this committee unless it's specifically confidential information or reports. So you can request. I don't see Will from one side of the room. So we could do a vote, but I don't see that happening, Ms. Rosswart. I did see some nods about requesting him come earlier. Can we consider that a motion by the committee to invite him to appear preferably the next week, if not the first week after break week? If he can appear next week, we can move back. We'll make it available our time on Tuesday. So instead of doing the CG report, we can move CG report to Thursday if we can get Mr. Lightbound on Tuesday. If not, we'll try for Thursday, in which case we can move the Public Service Integrity Commissioner perhaps to Tuesday for an hour, and we can finish off our report on Tuesday. But perhaps that's something you can leave with the clerk and myself to balance that out. Mrs. Block?
Just one point of clarification, Mr. Chair. I understand my colleagues' that sense of urgency that she is expressing in regards to wanting to see the minister appear before the committee. Notwithstanding the very current issues, I'm wondering if then we could just open it up for questions around his mandate. It may mean that he doesn't need to come back again, perhaps, a few short weeks later to appear in the spirit of the initial invitation that we had sent.
Yes, thanks. Sorry, I think that was the intent, rather than have him delay to November, have him do two birds with one stone, or to do his meeting with us for 2 hours, and then he would not be back until the estimates, in which case we usually invite them for 1 hour with the estimates, which would be late November, December. But I think that's the understanding. Are we comfortable with that?
Is there a motion on the floor for this, or?
Well, we can do it by UC.
Sure, if you can just re-say it for me, that's all.
Sure.
I want to make sure I understand what's being
The
put
intent
forward.
is to invite, the Minister of State will be, the committee has invited him already. He had indicated perhaps November. The will of the committee is to ask him to appear earlier, as soon as possible, not in 3 weeks, not in a month, but preferably next week, if not the first week back from break week. And then I leave it with the clerk and myself to work on the schedule, balancing between finishing this report and the appearance of the Public Service Integrity Commissioner, acknowledging that we will prioritize the appearance of the minister and work the other two around his appearance. Fine with that? Wonderful. So be it. We're clear with that? We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.